The biggest trends in podcasting for 2017, Live365 is back, and is Google buying Soundcloud?
Welcome to the Richard Daly Podcast, bringing you a UK perspective on the latest news and developments from the world of podcasting and internet radio.
Welcome to episode 22. I'm your host, Richard Daly. Every week I curate and discuss the latest news in podcasting and internet radio with a focus on the smaller podcaster and radio host and DJ. I'd like to start this week with a little bit of shameless self-promotion. I have just started writing a new series of articles on my website at richarddaly.com. The series is called Grow Your Online DJ Audience and Fan Base with Blogging. Obviously, it's aimed at DJs, but I do hope it might be of interest to podcasters too. Basically, it aims to do what it says on the tin, to discuss how you can build your audience by writing a blog. Part 1 is up now. Part 2 should be online in the next few days, and I plan on releasing more in the series over the next few weeks. On to the news now, and a story that will be of interest to both DJs and podcasters first. The latest rumour surrounding Soundcloud is that Google is considering buying it. A few months ago, it seemed like Spotify was looking at Soundcloud, but apparently they decided against it, and you'll recall that Twitter ended up investing in Soundcloud after they also looked at a purchase. The idea that Google might be interested in Soundcloud apparently comes from the fact that Soundcloud has recently hired Holly Lim to be their new CFO. Holly was previously an executive at Google. The rumour mill has the possible sale price as $500 million. Now that's a big drop from the $1 billion figure that was being talked about when Spotify were a potential buyer. A Rain News editorial on this story points out that if the sale goes ahead, Soundcloud will be added to Google's existing line of audio and video products, which of course includes Google Play Music, YouTube and Songza. DJs will be familiar with Soundcloud as a place to upload and store mixes and original tracks, and they'll also know about the growing challenges with takedowns that the site's faced. It was charging DJs and artists for their pro accounts that allowed Soundcloud to make money. Over the last couple of years, that model has changed, with many DJs, and I have to say including me, leaving the platform because of the takedowns. Soundcloud has been working hard to change their strategy, and they now focus more on making the user experience better for listeners. Now, I have to say that I didn't realise this, but this new strategy has seen an amazing rise in the use of the platform. According to Ray News at least, there could be as many as 250 million listeners on SoundCloud now. Now that SoundCloud has got more of the big labels involved in the platform, it looks like the issue of takedowns is getting smaller, and SoundCloud is now looking to start monetising using advertising and new listener subscription plans. So has SoundCloud finally found a buyer? Now I guess time will tell, but it does seem like Google is the best fit of the potential buyers so far. Next up, it looks as if Live365 is back. For those not aware, Live365 was a very popular host for online radio stations. It shut down when the new royalty rates came into force in the US at the beginning of 2016. Well, now the Live365 website is back up. Apparently there are new owners in place for the site, and they've posted a message on the website dated 2nd of January 2017 that says, "We are elated to announce that Live365 has been rescued." Rain News, who have been following the Live365 story since the new royalty rates were announced, has tried to get more information apparently, but it seems like the owners are keeping their plans under wraps, at least for now. What Rain News has established is that programmers will be given easy-to-learn 24/7 cloud automation services. They'll also be able to set up their own branding on players, which can be embedded in websites and also shared socially. Live365 will apparently be covering webcast royalty payments for music, at least in the US. The new platform will also offer ad insertion and revenue sharing. Prices for the new services will range from $59 to $199 a month, depending on how much music storage space you need and the number of listeners you get. Some of the other features will include unlimited listeners, unlimited bandwidth, and 192 kbps recording. It also looks like there will be support for live broadcasting and DJing on the platform. This definitely seems like good news for US-based online stations. Now, other platforms have already started to fill the gap in the UK and in Europe at least, so we'll have to see how effective it is over here. So what are the big trends in podcasting going to be in 2017? Well, Steve Goldstein has identified what he believes will be the 4 biggest in an article written for the Amplify blog. I'll go through them one by one, but I would love to get your feedback on the trends Steve has identified and what you think will be the biggest changes in podcasting this year. Don't forget you can contact me on Twitter at Richard Daly or by visiting my website richarddaly.com. Firstly, it's getting easier to listen to podcasts, but it's still not easy enough. Some 84% of podcasts are listened to using mobile devices now, and that's only going to increase this year. Steve notes that podcast growth is about breakthrough content and ease of use. To continue to increase the number of listeners, more older people, that is non-millennials, need to be attracted to the medium, so listening to podcasts on smartphones needs to become simpler. Trend number 2. 2 new technologies will make podcasts easier to find and listen to. I've talked about both of these technologies on previous episodes, but connected cars and artificial intelligence should make the process of downloading and streaming podcasts easier. Now, of course, this is going to help with the first trend as well. 2017 will see Apple's CarPlay and Google's Android Auto being installed in more new models of cars. Both of these have podcast listening apps built in. Looking at artificial intelligence, this Christmas saw many people buying and gifting Amazon Echo or Google Home devices. Now, with these devices, you can tell it the name of a podcast and they will automatically start playing the latest episode. The third trend Steve identifies is that the flood of new podcasts will continue. It certainly seems everyone wants to have a podcast, and the number of branded podcasts being launched by big companies continues to increase. Finally, discovery is difficult. There are now so many podcasts that just making good content is not a guarantee of success. Steve says that discovery is the key problem for podcasters. How do you become the needle in a haystack, as he puts it? So do let me know what you think will be the biggest developments and changes in podcasting this year. Okay, short and sweet this week. That's all the news from the Richard Daly podcast. If you visit my website at richarddaly.com, you will find all my social media links as well as the various ways you can subscribe to this show. The show notes for this episode are at richarddaly.com/22. As usual, please send me your questions or comments. And if there is a topic you'd like me to cover, then you can tweet me. As always, I really appreciate your feedback. So if you're enjoying the podcast, do please leave me a rating and review at iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you for listening, and I will see you on the next episode.